Gotta get my tiger in the picture. Woo-hoo.
Guess what, Dana?
We're live.
We're live. Hi,
I'm
everybody.
such a good guesser.
Dana,
Yes.
happy last day of school. That relieved sigh, I think, says all that needs to be said.
So I had a student who came to make up the final today. Grades went final yesterday, but student was sick for all finals, so they had to make up all of them, and had a doctor's appointment again yesterday. So okay, so I turned in the grade report, the grade change form, and man, and like made just enough with like 3 points on the final to spare to bring them up to passing. I'm good. It's good. You did it.
A real squeaker.
Yeah. So
Wow. Well, good for them.
yeah, I was very relieved that I didn't have to say, well, um, what else are you gonna do over the summer?
Thanks for
And
showing up, but you still fail.
I had one student after they took the final and it wasn't enough come back to retake a test, and like they had blown through the extra practice, like not really paid attention, to finish it so they could retake the test. And surprisingly enough, they made only 3 points higher on the test, which did not affect their final average. It's like, all right, I'll assign you more practice again, and I'll sit down with you and we'll talk about the practice as you go through it. And then I'll let you. And imagine that their grade went from like below a 50 to a 90 the next time they took. I'm like,
so that's a somewhat
practice
of an improvement.
Your skill improves and you do better.
And how many times do you have to make this point and it never seems to get through?
Well, but keep in mind, I don't know that I've ever had to make it more than once with the same student.
Well, that's true, but over the course of
many students, I mean, about year 10, I started feeling like they just didn't listen to anything I said that I told them.
So weird.
I taught them this again and again and again. And then like a quarter of the way through the year, it's like, wait, no, I feel that way, but I haven't told them this that many times.
Yeah.
I've said this that many times.
But to different classes.
I was like, I need to tone it down. What's up?
I want to acknowledge Sean O'Sullivan in the chat for a brilliant bit of Star Trek punning here. Sean says, wanted to get your opinion on a legacy script I am writing. Tuvok gets into a transporter accident and merges with a Klingon. I'm going to call the episode Two Dicks. You know what? You can just stop with the title, buddy, because it's not going to get any better than that. That's beautiful. That's good work there. But Kara brings up a good point. What's the ending? Does Two Dicks get brutally murdered the same way Two Vicks does in the actual episode, with the entire crew standing by and watching it happen? And
maybe it's
nobody objecting to it at all, except for the doctor, who makes a token objection and then steps back and lets the captain do it.
Well, I mean, otherwise would be mutiny, and like
that's true,
not acceptable.
And if they ever tried to mutiny on Janeway, she would fuck some people up.
Like, I feel like, because we're not watching that one.
No, we're not. And I mean, as bad as Sisko takes it when someone betrays him, I feel like if one of those Voyager crew members like mutinied on Janeway, especially if it was someone that she had known for a while, like it was a few years into the show, I don't know, man. I think I'd be scared. It's like it's fear of the unknown. Because Sisko, Sisko is a fairly consistently drawn character. You can kind of anticipate what he'll do. Janeway is all over the place. Like she is not a consistently written character at all. So you have no idea. Like she could be very understanding and diplomatic and forgive you, or she could just straight up kill you. Like you have no idea.
That's part of the fun, though.
Sure.
What's it going to be today?
Which which Captain Janeway are we going to have today?
Oh my goodness. Wait, wait, wait. Maybe it's the other way around with Captain Janeway. Like there was a transporter accident, and like we've seen with what's his name, Beard guy, your buddy, Frakes' character.
Oh, Riker, who, oh, like he gets split in half. Yeah.
And so sometimes we have, the reasonable Janeway, and sometimes we have the less so.
I think, yeah, well, and a better reference for that would
keeps it hidden well enough that nobody knows.
You were actually, you're going the same place I was going to go, because I think a better reference from what you describe is the episode when Captain Kirk gets split in half, because when Riker gets split in half, they're both just Riker. Like they're exactly the same in terms of like their personality and stuff. When Captain Kirk got split in half by the transporter, he had a good half and an evil half. And I think what's going on with Janeway is she got split in half by a transporter and got turned into a good half and an evil half. But the two halves got together and decided to just not tell anybody. And they've been they both live in Janeway's quarters, and they're like roommates, and they take turns coming out and being captain of the ship. So some episodes it's the good Janeway who's being out as the captain, and some episodes it's the bad Janeway, and you can never tell.
Kara agrees with you. It's like the original series episode.
Yeah.
So I have a theory.
Okay, please share.
They play rock, paper, scissors
to decide who gets to be the captain that day.
And the one who loses has to be the captain. The other one gets to stay in bed and play video games.
Yeah.
It's like the Calvin box, except the Calvin box, and they all mutiny. They're like, no, we're not going to school. No, he's like, but I made you so that you would go to school. They're like, yes, but you made us copies of you, and you don't want to go to school. And we have you to go to school, so we're not going.
Liz, that's a good reference too. Just like in The Prestige, that's true. That's true. Although, and because it's not even really a spoiler, because The Prestige, that's not exactly what happens in The Prestige, but anyway, but it is, yeah. Oh, and I like Sean has another one here. As they say in the episode, inter arnum sealant legis. Inter arnum sealant legis. Yes, indeed.
They say that
means?
No.
Yes, that is the title of a Deep Space Nine episode, and a character does say that in the episode. Yes. In time of war, law falls silent.
What's the Kelvin box? No, that's from the reboot of Calvin and Hobbes. It's the Kelvin timeline.
It gets, yeah, exactly. That's the alternate timeline of Calvin and Hobbes.
So yeah, it's been a week.
Yeah, and now and you've got something big happening tomorrow too, right?
Yes, I'm going to get sliced open yet again.
They're going to cut your foot off.
Well, only a part of it.
Okay.
And a part that is not supposed to be there. It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor, okay?
So yeah, and so I've got on the foot that I broke a long time ago, not the leg, down near the foot that I broke slightly more recently.
Yeah.
Did not heal properly, and I have a bone spur there, which has gotten to the point that I am walking with a limp. And when I had it looked at by an orthopedic surgeon prior to COVID, and they said, well, we can do surgery, but we may not be able to help it, and we might have to fuse the joint, which means it will be immobilized for the rest of your life. And if there's not enough cartilage left. So, do you want us to give it a go? Because maybe we can get it cleaned out and you'll be fine, but maybe not, because we can't tell from the x-ray. I was like, well, that sucks. And and they're like, it might get better, it might get worse. If you don't do anything, it'll stay the same. He was wrong. It did not stay the same.
It didn't stay the same. It got worse.
It got worse. So now surgery. Woohoo! First full day off of school. Going under the knife.
But
Whee!
you said you wanted to get it out of the way early so you can heal
Yeah.
up and not miss the entire summer. You
That would be
know,
nice.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And as I told you before, when you first told me about this, just remember, follow the doctor's orders as far as your recovery. Like, just follow them to the letter and don't put too much weight on your foot before you're supposed to. I would hate to see you end up in a Carrie Von Erich situation.
Exactly. Well, I asked at CrossFit this morning, excuse me, functional training, because the instructor was not there. And so one of the other members who used to be a CrossFit instructor, but has had, hasn't been an instructor, and so let her training lapse. So this was functional training this morning, not CrossFit.
Oh, because the instructor wasn't like CrossFit qualified or something?
Well, no, was fully qualified, but hadn't paid the money for the license.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's kind of what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I asked her, and I said, so do they have any like upper body only stuff? She's like, well, we can modify it. She's like, I said, well, like starting tomorrow, I'm going to be on crutches. She goes, oh, so we talked about some options. So as long as the challenge is there's stairs to get down to where the workout is.
You can hop stairs.
Exactly. It shouldn't be too bad. So
you hold on to the handrail and,
yeah, just hop and
hop one step at a time.
Just get there even earlier. Actually, no, now that it's summer, I can go to the noon class.
Yes. Or no, just bring like a big cardboard box with you and then just slide down the steps.
Whoosh. That would work, except that it's not completely straight, and I think I would hit the wall.
Yeah.
And then and with recent surgery, I don't know that that's the best idea.
Probably not the best idea. Yeah.
So anyway, she said, we could maybe do the rowing machine. You could just use your arms, but I'll still put weight on your legs. So probably the skier, where I was like, well, and I was like, oh, I could have a box and then just, and that would probably work my core more than the rowing machine, because the rowing machine I can sit crisscross applesauce on the row seat and then just row with that. And she said also one of the exercise bikes has is not just pedals, but has workable arms as well that will also spin the wheel. So there we go.
You know what else she could do? You could just not work out until you could just not work out until
what I could
better.
Do. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because she
take it easy. You could just take it easy. I don't give a fuck what happens to her. I don't know her. She can get hit by a bus.
Well,
I don't care.
Introduce you.
She's nobody to me.
Well, yeah, but that's just because you haven't been introduced.
Like, oh no, my CrossFit instructor, my great value CrossFit instructor got hit by a train. Oh no. I don't fucking care.
You're not paying attention. She's not the instructor. She hasn't paid the licensing fee.
I said great value CrossFit.
Oh, I thought you said great, value.
It's like, no, she's like the store brand,
She is her own brand.
I'm just saying, I don't give a shit if she can work out with her foot or not. I'm just saying, another option for you might be to just take it easy for a while.
I don't want to do that.
I know you don't know what those words mean, do you?
It would give me even more time to read.
Yes, and you have quite a backlog now, as we were discussing before we went live. Yeah.
I space my interlibrary loans out, but sometimes they catch up to each other. So I have this one, which is a middle grade novel. And this is another middle grade novel.
John Giggers, that's a great line. We've got CrossFit instructor at home. Okay.
And another one.
That's what, 3?
And then 3 middle grade novels. And then, I asked for some anthologies, some horror monster anthologies to look at possible ideas for the monster elective, which sounds like it's a go. Don't know for sure yet. So there's that one. So that's book 4, but it's an antho. 4. Another antho. This one's zombies.
5.
Speaking of zombies, the first collection of The Walking Dead.
Now it's been years and years since I read that, but I have read that.
I have, and it's been a while though, so I want to double check. Because I'm thinking, especially with how short it is, I might actually ask. And it's been out for a while, so we should be able to get copies without it being super expensive. So yeah, that's 6, and that one's pretty brief. Um, Neil Gaiman,
Neil
trigger
Gaiman.
warning, fun. Another Antho. 7.
7.
Nightmares.
Some nice light summer reading. 8.
Exactly. A Universe of Wishes. This is more of a YA fantasy anthology.
9.
This one, as you can tell, has been around for a while. This is Black Women's Studies, but Some of Us Are Brave. It's a collection of essays.
10.
And this is a history about, I think, Oregon, the settling of Oregon, and how it was a whites-only state. So 11.
How fun, as so many were once upon a time.
Well, yes,
so
but
11.
Oregon is the one place where they actually had a black person move in, and they said, no, you can't live here.
It was like explicitly whites only. It wasn't like, yes. It was like, no, we are, yeah.
They wrote it into their constitution.
Yeah, they said, no, only white people. Kara, I think it's a really funny idea of there secretly being a good Janeway and an evil Janeway that live in Janeway's cabin and take turns coming out and being the captain. I think it's a really funny idea. So take it and run with it if you want to write like a fanfic of it. I think it's a really funny idea.
Please do. I wouldn't get Dostoevsky from the library. Dostoevsky's in the public domain. Pull it up online.
Hey, that's right. Yeah.
And Budge. Not familiar with Budge. I mean, my understanding of Budge is that's what you try not to do when you want to stay seated and somebody else wants you to get up and go get something for them. You're like, I'm not going to budge.
I'm not going to budge.
No.
No.
I will not be moved. Like Inigo.
You said to go back to the beginning.
Well, that's where we got the job. So is the beginning.
I'm waiting for Vicini.
Snakebit Cat, I will see if I can copy paste that into something I can send to myself so that I'll remember it for later.
Die.
Oh, Budge is in Egypt. Oh.
Ah.
So presumably somebody who, yeah. Or this is probably one of those problematic Egyptologists, though. I'm kind
who played Budge in the Indiana Jones movies?
Dun, 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 I don't know. Wouldn't
know. Your response is to immediately start humming the theme song.
I mean, come on. when somebody says Indiana Jones, isn't that what happens?
Immediately, you're like, oh, did you see the new Indiana Jones movie? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, okay. Did you see the movie or not?
That's the way my brain works. I guess that it doesn't work that way for, other people. I was going to say normal people, but then I realized I was talking about you, so it wouldn't apply.
Star Wars. Doesn't work for Star Wars. It doesn't work for Star Wars. So are there other John Williams scores besides Indiana Jones?
My brain was like, haha. You know what my brain did? My brain went, haha, da 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 da. And that's why I went.
Wow. You went to your brain went. Your brain heard Star Wars and it wanted to answer A-Team.
Well, here's my thought. There's an A in Star and in Wars, and there's an A and in Team.
Okay, Mr. I Love the Ants. Indiana Jones has more than one theme too. When I say Star Wars, you know what theme I mean.
It's the main theme. We're not
the main theme.
The Star Wars theme, because
the Star Wars the main title theme.
Or group themes. Yeah, they're themes from certain events.
Da 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 like that. It's the Star Wars theme.
It's the one that goes Star Wars. Star Wars.
You're watching Star Wars. Yeah,
exactly. Although, yeah, now that we're also talking, there's also da 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 da.
Oh, there's all kinds of Star Wars themes. Well, just like if I say Superman.
Well, my mind is already going to other themes because
well, I'm still in like a John Williams mode.
Da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da da dum da da dum da dum da 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 dum.
Is that Clue?
Nope. Da da da
What's that?
da. That's Up.
Oh,
Da
Up.
da
I've only
da
seen
da.
Up once or twice. Um, yeah. No, Superman is dun da 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 da. Dun, da, da,
Oh
da,
yeah,
da, da, da,
Superman. Da da da
da,
da
da, da, da,
da.
da, da. And again, there's other themes. There's all. I mean, there's several like really memorable John Williams Superman themes, but that's the Kara got or HB Haggett got it. Um, Air One Fire. A lot of John Williams's themes are slightly modified other John Williams themes.
Oh my goodness, I was so salty when Harry Potter came out because he pulls so much from Hook in
From
that theme.
Hook, yeah. I think Jason has talked about that too because we've never reviewed Hook on late seating, but we reviewed the first Harry Potter, and I think we talked about that
Mm-hmm.
when we reviewed that movie. Yeah, that the theme is very reminiscent of his theme from Hook.
Mm. All right, well, we're not quite at our usual bit, but
But shall
I've
we?
got I've got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's watch the episode. So hopefully everybody has the Poirot episode we're going to watch ready to go in whatever format you have it in, and if you need to download it, go
Yeah,
ahead.
look down in the description because there's a linky,
Yes, yes, indeed.
and then
And
so make sure you're queued up to zero
go ahead.
zero zero zero, and then pause it so it's at zero. You completely dark screen, and then Steve is going to count us in.
Yes,
He's going to
indeed.
say 3, 2, 1, play, and make sure you have your cursor over the little doohickey so that when Steve says play, we all click it and we all play, and it all starts at the same time. Now, if through misfortune or an act of God, or a misfortunate act of God, you become desynchronized with us, you can just look up here and we'll have the time code going, and you can just change your little scroll bar so that it matches ish. It doesn't have to be exact. So if you're like a
Right.
smidgen off, don't worry about it because we're not singing along. I mean, I'm not playing. Steve, are you planning to sing along?
Nah, not at this
Okay.
time.
Not at this time. Okay.
And
So,
Kara, I'm not. You remember? You'll recall Dana said she was salty. I'm not salty. I don't. John Williams can rip himself off as much as he wants. I don't care. I don't hold points. I don't take points off of that. Actually, it's funny. I got somewhat. I got a similar comment on one of my videos when I talk about Star Trek 4. I mentioned this because one of the things that I really love about Star Trek 4 is the score because it's unlike the score of any other Star Trek movie, and it's almost completely original, and it's great. And it was composed by Leonard Rosenman, and I got a comment on it on that video for someone saying, "Yeah, but Leonard wrote, but he reused themes that he wrote for the Lord of the Rings animated movie or something like that." And I was like, "So." I mean, it was his score. Like he borrowed music from a movie that almost nobody but nerds fucking saw. So
well, but
it's not like there were
my
that many people in the theater in 1986 going, "That's the Lord of the Rings theme." Like nobody gave a shit.
but here's the thing. My thought would be it would depend on, because what you said when you were sort of moving towards the point of the story,
Right.
was that what you liked about it was that it was completely original, and so somebody
Well,
pointed out, but it wasn't. But what you meant,
original
it sounds
intro.
like
Yeah,
what you meant was it was not just not original so much as it was different from the other Star Trek
it was
scores.
original. It was original in terms of Star Trek. Like it
Mm.
doesn't use familiar Star Trek themes except for very very briefly. Like the main title theme, it's not like it doesn't use the Alexander Courage theme or the what was the fuck? I can't think of it. Oh, Jerry Goldsmith, the Jerry
Oh
Goldsmith
yes,
theme
of
from
course,
Star
Jerry
Trek: The Motion
Goldsmith's
Picture.
theme.
Sure. One of the most famous film composers of his era, by the way. But anyway,
And
okay.
another dude.
Anyway,
Speaking of
okay.
salty,
Look. I'm with you, but I'm just it is it kind of is what it is at this point. Like,
how many female composers can you name?
other than Shirley Walker, actually, no. The I can't think of her name now, which kind of proves your point. But the composer, the series composer for Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, is a woman. Most of the opening title theme was composed by a male composer, but the actual scores for the episodes are mostly written by a woman.
I
I
think
can't
the
think of
the
her name
Marvels
now,
was
but
composed
yeah,
by a woman as well,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then the composer, and I should know her name, but it's just not there right now. The composer of Chocolat, I think, was female, and she won. I
Okay.
think she won
Yeah.
an Oscar. I think she's the
Yeah.
only female composer who's won an Oscar. Anyway, but
All
yes,
right.
um,
So enough digression. That was
as
my fault. I got us started on that. And
as
Dana,
Kara
don't
said,
forget.
let's get to it.
Yes, and Dana, don't forget to mute your microphone when we start watching,
Yeah.
because
Oh
you don't have your earbuds, so you can unmute if you want to make a comment, you can unmute, but
okay.
otherwise we'll have to stay muted, or you'll have to stay
Okay.
muted. Okay.
Fine. All right. All right. So
Uh,
you'll have to count us in. I won't be
I
able to do it
will.
this time.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you do every other time.
All right.
Okay,
I'm gonna
everybody.
try it, and then I'm gonna put my cursor ready, so we're all ready.
Okay. Okay, here we go, everybody. I will count us in from 3. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play. What? Hi, Caitlin. Glad you could make it. It's a me.
Who are you?
The heart of the ocean, yes. The woman, she has a name, dude.
Yes, but now we know he's a jerk. It's
Very, yes,
establishing.
good point. Tot.
But not your manners. It seems you've never had those.
Well, that's an awfully long name.
Reminds me of the car rides in The Sting, where
Yeah.
he's sandwiched between the mooks.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous.
We really, really, really want someone who's stupid and likes us.
That dude was 19? No, I'm sorry. No.
He's 19 the way Seven of Nine was 16 in Mean Girls.
Or like Jason Priestley was supposedly like 16 when 90210 started.
The grand American tradition of 30-something teenagers.
Casting 30-something actors to play high schoolers. That way you can watch them have sex and you don't have to feel weird about it.
I do know this one. I know this one.
I've made arrangements to sit in my home in my underwear and eat chocolate.
Oh, they wanted to take him to a good old fashioned country Christmas time, and he's like, country is cold, it's
It's
wet,
like,
I don't want to
no,
go.
no.
Yeah, the central heating is what wins him over. He's like, okay. He's like,
All right.
castles are cold and drafty. He's like, they've got central heat. He's like, okay.
Poirot will take the job.
The food sort of wins him a little bit, and he's like,
But cold. That's the only thing that isn't cursed. Hi, Andrew.
hi, Andrew. Yes, Mr. Desmond Lee Wortley, he of the knock knees. I can't wait to see him on screen.
David, I like it. Hello, Steve and Dana. It's okay, Andrew. I'm glad you're here.
He's new.
You'll have to excuse Andrew. He's new.
And it's the children. Well, Mr. I Love the Ants, that's what they said. You know, he's 19.
Exactly. Yummy. Oh, so delicious. Hi, Annie. It is permitted? Oh, Poirot almost made a fool of Poirot. He does look like he's knocked boots, though, eh, H.B. Haga? Eh? Eh?
He doesn't look anything like the beatnik that I pictured when I read the story.
Oh. I was just kidding. I have no idea who you are.
Rude, jumping in before the kids.
Screw those kids. Feels like it's not an insurmountable problem.
This isn't in the book at all that I remember.
Well, you just have to be smarter than what you're working with, sir. I bet David Suchet was constantly pestering them to let him do that in an episode. He was like, "Can I do my mango thing in this one, please? Can I do the mango thing?" And finally, they were like, "All right, yes, sure."
And it looked like a very nice mango, too.
Shut your fucking mouth.
There was a clue.
Ooh. You got it, Andrew. Oh, come all ye whatever. That's right. I like peaches too, Jen, but only if the peaches are for free.
Dun, dun, dun.
What is this? Bed paper? Poirot did not order this. Well, I appreciate the message, but I can't say the same for the grammar. Oh, I hate the children. Not Poirot's circus, not Poirot's monkeys. Behold the apocalypse pudding. Eat up, yum, yum, yum. He's nice. Poirot thought things were wrapping up a bit early. And if I don't catch the thief, I'm keeping it as my fee. Every bit of 19.
Now shut your face and go to bed like a good lad.
Andrew, I really like Gosford Park, and I happen to know it's one of Dana's favorites.
Absolutely. In fact, it's got one of my favorite lines ever when he says, "You don't understand. I don't care." So wonderful in so many ways.
Obelisks always give me an appetite. There's a come on if I've ever heard one. Man, Christmas has got so much easier when you just could sit around and watch It's a Wonderful Life. Chaste, closed mouth kissing. While Poirot stands looking on like an undertaker. Ah, see, he was very clever. He just was too clever for the room. Bonsoir. Must be so fun to live in a modern art museum like that.
Kara, Andrew's new. He doesn't know about Askaways and watchalongs yet. And Steve, I think we have talked about using Gosford Park, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm sure it's come up. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I
and
think the only
usually,
reason why we haven't done it is because it is a little on the long side.
yeah.
But I
I mean, for the summer, that
it's
wouldn't be
great.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about getting up. Then, and usually the watch-alongs are on a weekend opposite an Askaway.
Usually it's a
in
Friday that's
between.
not an ask away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in between. So it doesn't mess with your
Speaking of
schedule.
which, I need to get with Jason and figure out when our
Thingy.
Ensign's log live stream is. I think it'll have to be sometime in June. You fool, Poirot was faking being asleep. Thanks for that useful bit of information. Oh no, she died having sex with the obelisk. I told you. I told you stuck the knife in too far. Boy, they're dropping like flies. He must be going to get the doctor.
The police, obviously.
Yeah, sure, that too. Except for the knife wound in my back. That makes sense. Oui, oui. Ho, ho. 1930s car chase. Oh man, Hastings is going to be sorry he missed this.
Well, but it's also, Caitlin, it's also an idiom. I will be discretion itself.
Nothing to this car cheese. Kara, exactly. And the workman walking a pane of glass in front of the car. Oh no, weeds, they're so bad for the plane. David, exactly. Except Poirot is the one who cusses out the woman at the airport.
It's more common to be, I will be the soul of discretion. But, to the personification there is a way of saying, I won't just be discreet, I will be discretion itself.
The very soul of discretion, yeah. You have a very small what? You said? Oh yeah. Dignity.
I like her.
Majesty. What a charming young man, and wise beyond his 19 years.
My trap was the most cunning ever. Much more cunning than your stupid little prank.
Give me some. Yeah. Thanks to the lazy Susan. I thought I was dead. He's like, I get it.
I slept really good. I can't complain.
Poirot had palmed it. I'm sorry to hear that, Andrew. Well, you almost made it to the end.
I know, I know. One as wishes you well.
The only character who hasn't done anything yet.
At church, where did you put it? In the pudding.
Well, it's a good thing they loudly discuss their evil plan in front of a room full of people.
Everybody was singing. They could just act like they were on the wrong verse.
Yeah. Oh, we have Comcast on the East Coast, Andrew. We very
We
much
avoid
do.
it if we can.
Hercule Poirot.
That's it. Gratitude? Jeez.
Au revoir. Oh, thank God. Oh, isn't that nice?
So
The
yeah,
end.
that was really interesting. They actually changed a lot from what I remember.
Yeah, I saw someone in the chat earlier said they changed one of the characters into like an actual historical figure. I guess maybe the
Yeah,
prince.
probably presumably the prince.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't remember. Um, yeah, I don't remember who it was. I mean, he doesn't factor into the story, I think, at all. I think they talk about him, but he doesn't show up in the story.
Oh,
And
really? Like the prince isn't actually like in the
no,
original story. He's not actually there. He's just
yeah,
referred to.
yeah, he's just referred to. And
Interesting.
and he well, and he's an amusing character. He comes off as a complete ass, and the story is much gentler to him that he was, that this woman had um kind of bamboozled him, and he just, was, trying to show off for her and wasn't thinking. And I mean, in the story, it sounds like he's like 15ish, like, young.
Hmm.
And Kara, I can't think of anybody that they removed, because you have I can't think of anybody that they got rid of. There might have been a few more servants, but I mean, you've got Annie and the butler and the cook, and those are the
Yeah,
ones that
there's
I
quite a
remember.
few characters. I mean,
Yeah,
not
I don't.
everybody does very much, but I mean, everybody does a little bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in the story, that they talk about, how the boys and Bridget imagined, they planned out the crime because it had snowed. And so, they don't even mention that it was strawberry jam. They got the strawberry jam and, how it would look against the snow. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they didn't have any.
No snow.
And yeah, so that was really interesting. So they put that in there. But I do miss I mean, because that's some of my favorite bits are with the aunt and the niece, and about Desmond. And I always pictured him as like kind of a long-haired, scrawny beatnik. And he's not. He's just, I mean, to me, he looks just same as any of them.
Like
But
another British guy, yeah.
yeah, like in the story, he is, he's like, oh, do we have to go to, the Christmas Eve service? That's so, it's so, just you just do it because it's tradition. She's like, but it's a tradition that I like. I mean, she doesn't say anything because, of course, when you're with somebody who's just like, who's with, this is what's hip and what's now, and she doesn't want to talk about,
Yeah.
the importance of tradition to her and how, she actually likes it. So but the thing is, the aunt has called Poirot, not so much to help, but just sort of to commiserate. And she says, there's nothing that I can do. I just sort of talk, I encourage her. And Poirot's like, excuse me, what? And she says, well, if I say no, he's the wrong man for you, she's going to cling to him even more, just out of, stubbornness. You never let me do what I want. And so that's where the bit about knock knees is like, oh, he does have such a nice face. It's just a shame that he's so, he's kind of skinny. Does he exercise at all? And his knees are kind of turned in. He's kind of knobby. And the text says that whatever her name is, the girl looks at it and says, funny. Or no, that's what it is. The tight jeans that men wear now, they accentuate his knobby knees. And she looks at it, funny. She never noticed that he did have knobby knees. It's like, so she's saying something that's,
Hmm.
he's got such a nice figure. It's just the same. He's so skinny and his knees are so knobby. Oh, well, now that you mentioned it, and because she's,
Actually.
she's trying to be nice,
Yeah.
the niece is just like, huh, and kind of falls away from him in the process.
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I like the little, not really a twist, but just the little uh slight alteration to the formula where Poirot finds the ruby like at the halfway point and thinks he's done and hands it back to the prince. And he's like,
Yes.
well, pleasure doing business with you. Got to go. And the guy's like, wait a minute, you're not done yet. Then he has like a second half that he needs to do. I thought that was good.
I was like, I do
and
not like this.
yeah.
Kara, Miss Marple was in this? No. I'm gonna disagree with Marple wasn't in this. No. Now there are some Marple stories that have similar features, but no.
She never did a Marple Poirot team up.
No. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Poirot teams up with Ariadne Oliver. There's never a Marple Poirot crossover. All right. Well,
Wordle.
I can feel the squeaks coming on.
Okay.
So,
well, and I mean, Arthur Conan Doyle never did like a Sherlock Holmes visits the Lost World story. So, I mean, just because it's the same author doesn't mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
would have been funny though. He could like deduce what T-Rex killed the Triceratops or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and which Triceratops it was and how they were.
Which Triceratops it was, while Watson gets it wrong.
Of course. I mean, as Christie says, once the idiot friend, always the idiot friend.
Indeed. Yes. So shall we play Wordle?
I'm gonna have to look that up because I know I am keen on this. Yeah, this is one of my favorite Poirot stories. I love that he gets in on the prank with Bridget, and he really. I don't think. I wish they'd played that up a little bit more because he really gets the boys. Like they.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh shit, dead. She's really dead.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so quick here that it just kind of glosses past it, and they don't really change tone, which is understandable because they also look a little bit older. Like I pictured them like 7 or 8, and here they're like 12ish. They're kids, but they're not like little kids. And so I was like, damn, Christie gonna kill a kid. And then of course she's not really dead.
Damn, Christie gonna kill a kid. Sorry, Andrew. I know I let you down. I hope that you can forgive me. Okay, Wordle.
Yes, let's.
Wordle. Okay, so for folks like Andrew who have not joined us for this before, the way this works is this is today's Wordle, and we're going to solve it together. Dana will be taking the lead as far as what words we guess and so forth, but Dana is not actually looking at the Wordle screen. She is only going by my description of it. So if you would like to play along with us, we welcome that. Please feel free to share your suggestions and guesses in the chat. The only thing we ask is if you have solved today's Wordle already, please do not tell us the answer and do not give us any hints. Other than that, it's anything goes. So
I want to comment on something in the chat. Andrew, okay. In fairness to the British, iguanodons are scary. Have you seen an iguana? They've got like stabby thumbs. Terrifying, I tell you. All right. So.
Okay. So heart.
Yeah. Oh wow. Caitlin says this one's tough.
Oh boy. Well, let's see how tough it is. Okay. Let's do the typical starter, H-E-R-T, and that gives us an A in the wrong place, and that's it.
Okay, let's go for lions.
Lions gives us, oh boy, this is going to be hard, an L in the wrong place, and that's it.
Okay. Okay, so let's go for my third word in this case, which is dumpy, D-U-M-P-Y. So we have an A and an L, both in the wrong place so far.
Okay.
Andrew, you can get other apps that give you other Wordles. This is the New York Times one, which is 1 per day.
Yeah. Okay. Dumpy gives us a P in the wrong place. Okay. So now we know there, and that's it. So now we know there is an A and an L and a P in there somewhere, but we don't know where any of them go.
Okay. Empire Jeff, it can't be nappy because we need the L. And Kara, same thing. It can't be daily because we need a P. So, and also there's no I. Lion Souls, there's no
I. Yeah.
And there's no Y. Empire Jeff, we know from Dumpy.
Right.
So, D-U-M-P-Y. So it could be A-P-A-L, right? Yeah, that would work.
It could.
What works with that? Or P-A something A-L.
Would appall work? Like APALL?
No, it's
No, it
A
wouldn't
P
because
P A L.
the A can't be the third letter. The A can't be the third letter.
It wouldn't be.
Um,
It's APPAL.
APP. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That would
Um,
work, I think.
is there only one L in appall?
There might be two L's. Well, if it's not a word, then it won't take it.
That's true. Do you want to try it?
Yeah,
Or
let's
do you
go
have
for it.
another? APPAL?
Yeah.
Appall. Okay, it took it. That's not the answer, but it did give us a whole bunch. I think we have it now. I think there's only
Okay.
one word it could be. It gives us the A and the P in the wrong places, but the other three letters are in the right place. So it's got to be papal.
Yes, that will work. And Kara got it just with us. Hang on. What about papal?
Papal.
Yes,
Nice.
that's awesome.
We did it again.
Yeah, Caitlin, exactly. That's
Papal. Papal.
Yay us. Okay, so as we're wrapping up, folks, don't forget that there is no Ask Away this week.
Correct.
That is next week. So next week, if you are a channel member here or a patron on Patreon, then you can send Steve, you'll get an email that says you can send Steve a question. You have up to 1,000 characters to say what you want. Steve will read it on air. And then if you ask a question, or more than one sometimes, he will answer them as best as he is able, and the spirit moves him, I suppose.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as they say.
Exactly. So yeah, and barring technical difficulties from said Lord arriving or said creek rising.
Indeed.
So,
if Jesus kicks my internet out, we can't. It may not happen.
You know, acts of God. So so if you are not a channel member or a Patreon patron, yeah, there you go.
The squeaks begin.
The squeaks begin. Well, we just had one last Friday, Andrew. So so if you are a channel member or a patron, then you can send them, and if not, you got some time, because like you can just click the button somewhere in this vicinity over here, or you can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives. And if you join on Patreon, you'll have access to all kinds of stuff. If you join here, there's access to all kinds of stuff. Also, don't forget to look down in the description for some charities and nonprofit organizations that you can help. There's plenty to look through. And there's also charitylinks.page,
yes, indeed,
which is a curated list of some of our friends and associates who could use some financial help. So if you have the ability to do so, helping is great. Yay. So please look through and see, you know, what moves your spirit. And other than that, we will be back next week on Wednesday for another shindig. We'll be watching DS9, but what will we be watching on DS9?
Oh, well, Philip in the chat said next week is one of his favorite episodes of Star Trek. So last week we watched an Odo episode that was pretty dark, right? Next week is also an Odo episode that is the exact opposite. That is like a frolic through the grass. It's a buddy comedy featuring Odo and Quark.
Oh, lovely. So this is the one where instead of curly-haired, what's his name, Irish guy, Colmini suffering, it's Odo suffering, because we know anybody who's dealing with Quark for the entire episode is going to suffer.
I think Quark and Odo both kind of suffer in the episode, but anyway, it's an episode called The Ascent, and it is a good one. So that is next week.
C or no C?
Oh, like a climb, like with a C, the ascent.
So not ascent, but
not like an agreement, not like okay, that's fine with me. Not like
my thought is it ain't fine with either of them.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
All right,
but it's a good episode. I hope you enjoy it. But that's next week.
And I think that's it.
I think we're good. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week for Deep Space Nine: The Ascent. Thanks for watching Poirot with us. And yeah, Dana, good luck with your foot surgery tomorrow. Hopefully, it all goes well, and you can report good news to us all next week.
That would be great. I'll show off my crutches in the background if I remember, which I probably won't.
There you go.
You will have to remind me, Steve.
I will remind you.
All right.
I will.
Thanks again for joining us, everybody. It was good to see all of you and hang out with you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.